Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Annisa Fhadilla, NIM 18019333. In this time, I will present my thesis. The title is Psychogeography Reading of Imaginary City, a novel written by Ranchidori 2017. And my examiner are Mr. Dr. Muhammad Al-Hafiz SSMA and Ma'am Desvalini Anwar SSM Hum PhD, and my supervisor is Miss Delphi Wahyuni SSMA. Background of study. Jakarta became the setting of literary work and the setting became the spread heart of story. Jakarta as the setting of the Imaginary City novel has an influence on the character's emotion. Jakarta has the historical side that have the romantic side. The city affects that emotion and the life in its habit. This is what buildings and individuals' attachment to the place that he visits. According to Lover 2014, state that psychography is the term combination of the psychology and geography. Psychogeography affects how an individual's emotion and behavior within the specific environment are caused and influenced directly by their environment. According to Coverley 2006, in the literary psychogeography, the topography of the city is reflected by the writer's imaginative force, and the text becomes the blend of the fact and fiction, expressed and the oscillate between the real world and the world as perceived by an individual. Imaginary City by Ranchidori perfectly manifests itself in the topographical reference to the real world and reference city. References that tell the reader where the characters physically situated with the city. The novel revolves around two main characters, a named character, she and he. In general, in this novel tells about the revisiting the place witches had visited with all their memories in Jakarta at night, and her desire to make him as her lover, even though she had rejected him, but she still fought for her love for him. Every every place visit buildings a subplot of main plot. The characters keep coming back to those places, however traumatizing those places are for them. They touch to those places. Focus of problem. This research focused on how imaginary city reveal the individual attachment to the some places in Jakarta. Research question. There are three research questions. The first is, how does imaginary city reveal the notion of sense of place experienced by characters? And the second, how does imaginary city reveal the place attachment to Jakarta? And the last, how does imaginary city reveal the notion of learner? The purpose of research. The study aimed to find out the notion of sense of place experienced by characters in Imaginary City 2017. And the second, the study aimed to find out the place attachment to Jakarta in Imaginary City 2017. And the last, the study aimed to find out the notion of learner in Imaginary City 2017. This is my conceptual framework. And the next is the review of related studies. Psychogeography as developed in 1955 defines the study of the press law and the specific effect of the geographic environment, whether or not unconsciously prepared or not, at the feelings and the conduct of individuals. Moreover, according to Goverley 2006, state that psychogeography literally as the point of intersection between the psychology and geography, the one of the additional characteristic that can be identified in the search for a new way to learn about our urban environment. There are four key concepts in psychogeography. The first is the right. According to Shah Kazir 2022, when a person drifts into his surroundings, however, is observe certain aspect of the landscape, which is important to the concept of psychogeography because it is the connect to mind and behavior to the environment. And the act of the drifting allows the individual to become the means of the examining modernity state. Second is flaneur. According to Richardson, the flaneur is defined as being the passive and detached observer wanderer of the street. The term is coined by the Charles Boulder. Moreover, the Benjamin stated that seeing the flaneur position as a jumping off the point of the more in-depth examination of the modern city's relationship to the human mind. The third is sense of place. According to Lover 2014, individuals' sense atmosphere and aura of the place is referred to as the sense of place, and it is the construct in which is individual knowledge, memories, perception, and the interpretation become together to form a subjective interpretation of the place. And the last is place attachment. According to Williams, state that in place attachment and the sense of place is the place depends on the place identity were used as the construct for the measurement. This is the consist with the idea that place identity is influenced by both the functional or the physical and the emotional aspect of environmental experience. Previous research. The first is psychogeography walking through the strategy, nature, and the narrative by James D. Sidway, 2021. The study examined the psychogeography's trajectories, connection, and the affinity, notably with the natural writing. In Mending Gaps, the article considered the gender, colonial, Muslim register, and extend the range of sites and the protagonist, the herding others' verities, and the opportunities both with the beyond and the North Atlantic. Finally, reflecting on what the lesson lay in the psychogeography and its emergence from the human geography, the article reconsidered the question of narrative and scope. And the second is psychogeography of Kuala Lumpur in Nasuri Ibrahim selected poem by Ruzi Suliza Hasim and Fatin Nur Syahirah Fizal, 2016. The study focuses on experience as the planner. Psychogeography gives the different view in the analysis. The poem as the setting in Kuala Lumpur are shown to be significant in the providing insight that into the mood and the thought of an urban dweller. While the city is not ideal, it is place for the poet to survive. Research method. The type of research. This research is written with a qualitative method. That qualitative method is a system subjective approach used to describe the life experience. Object of the research. The object of the research used in the novel Baron Chidori. The title is Imaginary City. Technique and data collection. In this research, the data are taken from the novel Imaginary City 2017, Baron Chidori, by using quotation, by looking at the speaker, narrator, setting, character, plot, and conversation. Method and the technique of data analysis. The analysis is done through the text and the context based on interpretation. In the additional to that, the researcher makes the notes on the quotation that is relevant to the topic and the problems. In doing so, the researcher approach the close reading. Discussion. In this novel, researcher will analyze or prove how the plays affect the human in their way of thinking, behavior, emotion, as told by the theory of psychogeography. In psychogeography theory, there are several concepts such as learner, sense of place, and place attachment. The researcher will show the example of each psychogeography concept in this novel. The first is sense of place. There are three. The first is fulfillment. From this quotation, it can be revealed that sense of place is value of place. For him, the house is very valuable because the house gives the big influence in his life. It can be seen from the quotation that she could feel how the weariness in his face shifted into something else, and some things it is exists by beyond the space and they inhabit. According to Hassan to 20 and 30, sense of place can be created in an individual life, place, and be expanded along her or see her life. Therefore, the house has valuable and meaningful in his life. The second is the subjective and emotional attachment. From this quotation, it can be revealed this was the first time that she had entered in his room. It was as if they had explored the, the entire city together, both between the space that was meaningful to them and the space that have become the something to them. According to the Hassan 2013, sense of place is an emotional that connected between individual and the place. Then, when she saw her crying, she knew that a woman as cheerful as her had a very deep wound, as if the world was no longer on his side. He also just realized that some of his actions gave her false hope. And the last in the sense of place is in identification. From this quotation, it can be revealed that each place has its own history, and it is not simply to erase if the building collapsed or it is replaced by a new one. Because according to the Handsome 2013, Sense of Place describe the people have the deep emotional connection to the place, and also the location has the meaning and the importance. Therefore, every place has the golden period and very interesting history to explore. And the second concept is place attachment. From this quotation, it can be revealed that she knows the city can change in the terms of the layout of the building, but for her, the city never changed in the terms of the meaning, such as the memories of the city and the history of the city, because according to Hassan 2013, state that place attachment occur when the people experience the strong and the long period of time in that place, and in this process the place has the broad meaning. On the other hand, that people will change in every situation they will face, but for her, she knows that every individual will feel attached to every place that make them emotional. And the last concept is learner. From in this quotation, it can be revealed that the characters love every part of the city, the chaos, the complexities of the unconscious, the consciousness, how it is keep moving and growing, but not necessary to changing. According to Thesis 2006, a learner is the portrait as the someone who has the traveled such so much and clinging to the point of view of the city while also being the conflict inside. From the quotation, the characters see perhaps what they see like most is the warmth of the light at the city is illuminate every street at the night is very most beautiful part in the city. The conclusion, based on the result of the study, it can be concluded that there are three findings of the psychography concept in this novel. Uh, it is a sense of place. It is about the place visited by the characters, like the unforgettable place. And the second is less attachment. This is the person can be so attached to the place, or the place has the unique identity to the person. And the last is planner, where whenever someone goes around the city or visiting a place, the concept that is in the point of view of the city is to keep return back the city to the place. And my suggestion, this uh, in this research can help future researchers who are interested in conducting a similar research or who will conduct the research on another novel. And the last is for the further researcher, they can analyze the development of the learner and the derive it is by using the psychography theory in more in depth. Thank you. That's all for me. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.